Alright, so let's go over some more recent XR news within the space. I want to go over 3 topics specifically. First up, of course, Meta is starting to release firmware update v67 for everyone on Quest. This came out some time ago on the public test channel, but I wanted to give my opinions on it as I've sideloaded a bunch of apps that utilize the new window layout feature available in the experimental settings on Quest, which includes a much anticipated feature that I myself have been waiting for: the option to rearrange your space and anchor panels more freely within your play space, and other features as well. At times, v67 for me, in my opinion, is the best update since the launch of Quest 3, showing what is possible with multitasking natively on the device, but highlights where the device falls short. The update is available for Quest 2 as well, and I found some interesting irregularities between both headsets when it comes to compute usage and available system RAM. Then we have recent development from Twitter enjoyer and data miner Luna once again, with more insights of what v68 could entail and other features Meta is actively working on. Remember, these are just leaks, but it gives us a glimpse of what to expect in future firmware releases. Then we have news that Samsung finally plans to unveil their upcoming XR headset later this year, as in the Galaxy Pact event, the president of Samsung's mobile division mentioned and reasserted that a new XR platform is coming this year. Nonetheless, let's get into the first topic. On July 3rd, Meta released a blog post and release notes for MetaQuest build v67. Most people that aren't on the public test channel should have this update already or made available at this point, as it mentions these features being rolled out for Quest 3, Quest 2, and Quest Pro. The biggest feature in this update, of course, is the new window layout system, allowing you to have multiple resizable app windows, up to 6 in total. 3 anchored to your Quest home bar and 3 free-flowing, whether anchored to areas around your room in mixed reality during pass-through, or if you want to teeter on the verge of brain rot, you can have all 6 tabs open at once. Anchoring apps to your walls is really cool. With each update, sweet baby Ray Zuckerberg, aka Lizard Man, aka Mr. Steal Your Data, is cooking. It's evident that the thought of competition alone, even if the price points and users are in 2 separate realms, is important to the industry. It pushes innovation. Compared to previous updates from Meta, it feels the most fleshed out in targeting to become an all-around entertainment device rather than just a gaming console. With Quest 3, fitness for me kind of took a backseat, as tracking with the controllers is still inconsistent months later for intense movement games like Beat Saber on Expert Plus. No matter what I do compared to Quest 2, and I'll die on that hill every single time. But media consumption and simple browsing, the experience is significantly more fluid. It's still not at the level of a personal computer that you can enjoyably use to get actual real work done, and I'd rather use a laptop or desktop and save myself the headache. But if you're really optimistic, you could. More interestingly, for me at least, I've at least have varied experiences using this on Quest 2, Quest 3. My Quest 2 still gets used for fitness primarily, but for one, when it comes to available memory, Quest 3 somehow, even with 2 more gigabytes of RAM, Quest 3 struggled more in allocating memory for running apps and opening newer apps. Frame dips are even more apparent. Also, a running issue is that occasional stutters while using 6 apps is frequent enough to be bothersome, or the more tabs generally you have, stuttering will occur. I think 6 apps open at the same time isn't as useful as it seems and is crossing the line of pure brain rot. The funniest thing, myself included, is that every time someone showcases productivity, quote unquote, on Quest, the first thought on everyone's mind is to open as many tabs as possible at all times. In real life, the most you need in my experience is 2 screens, one main screen and a side monitor for all the other stuff like music, a sound equalizer, extra tabs, etc. But it's impressive Meta managed to get 6 at one time. Even though in my experience it still struggles with 3 tabs open at once, this is in the right direction. You can also view content from apps on a large screen by selecting the theater view on the top right window on any window control bar. Inside the theater mode, you can also tap or gesture the Oculus Home menu to insert Quest Home UI into flat or immersive media viewing. Watching films like Tron Legacy without having to access a separate app is a step in the right direction, all within the Quest Home UI. You can also dim the home Quest environment with immersive theater mode too. This feature isn't available in mixed reality with pass-through, but through juicy v68 leaks, it shows that it's coming sooner than later. Having used the new wind-out layout system is pretty neat, even with its faults. By far my favorite apps to use that aren't on the Quest Store are sideloaded APKs like Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, or Twitch to have noise in the background while doing some browsing, relaxing, or during gaming sessions. Already I've spent so much time alone just listening to music inside the headset, and Quest desperately needs a native music streaming app directly on the MetaQuest storefront other than YouTube playing in the browser. Apps like Apple Music are a must-have if you're already a subscriber. Along with a sound equalizer like Wavelet that I personally use drastically improves the listening experience twofold with a pair of headphones. One thing I hope comes as a feature sooner than later is being able to size windows automatically like you have with Windows Snap layouts to fit a part of your screen evenly and side by side. At times you spend more time setting up windows to my preference than actually using the headset. Another feature that needs work is replacing certain app windows should keep the sizing and not default back to the default setting, or if you're just moving a window, it should stay that size unless you're holding the app for more than 2 to 3 seconds. Also, Meta, please improve the MetaQuest browser and stop making the social app a default tab when booting up the headset. Meta is also adding creator content in the Horizon feed, allowing people to react, share, and jump into games or experiences directly from the content feed. Swipe typing is another added feature in v67, allowing you to use swipe typing to enter text inside your headset to cut down on time. Made available through the toggle in Quest system settings inside the keyboards tab. Quest Pro also gets some love with eye tracking improvements specifically for Quest Pro only. More do not disturb improvements to be able to select certain durations for how long you want the feature to last. Also, now you can scan a Wi-Fi QR code to connect your Wi-Fi network directly by going into settings and tapping the option to scan a QR code. This feature is exclusive to Quest 3. The last bit in the patch notes mentions immersive media continuity, so when opening Quest TV or using File Viewer to view flat or immersive videos, it'll not quit the current immersive app you're in. Next up, let's discuss what v68 could entail and other features Meta is working on through data mining. From user Luna, this is all speculation as not all PTC features go into every official firmware update. First off, on Quest 3, we should expect to be able to dim our environment during pass-through mode as it wasn't available on v67 and only done so with the virtual Quest home environments. Also, a new cursor for hands and controllers. The theater view panel can now be moved back and forth instead of just up and down to play immersive videos or flat content, gamepad support for the theater view panel, and other improvements. From this, Meta is also testing out a feature that they refer to as seamless multitasking to pin certain windows in your view during games and experiences and follow your head and movements as well. I wonder how this will work as playing games like Asgard's Wrath 2, the game itself already takes up so much system memory with the Quest 3 enhancement upgrade. I had moments where there wasn't enough system memory alone and the headset just closes the app automatically. Lastly, from Business Insider, we get more information on Samsung's upcoming headset and Google's upcoming XR platform. We went from the start of the year with all kinds of reports to complete silence, and now it seems they are on track to release the headset. These are just reports / rumors from insiders, so take it with a grain of salt. Quoting, Google and Samsung are still building a joint device, a mixed reality headset more akin to Apple Vision Pro, internally codenamed Muhan. The device, announced in February 2023, was initially planned to launch in Quest 1 of this year but has been pushed back. According to a person familiar with the internal timeline, a consumer version is now set for next March, with a developer version planned to release this October. And also mentioning Google is out of the first party game for glasses for the foreseeable future, said one current employee. We're only making prototypes to convince people to use our software. Personally, I'm excited to see what Samsung does hardware-wise and what Google does in the software. But I wouldn't be surprised if at one point it'll be abandoned once again, like Google Daydream or Samsung VR. This launch feels more as they're trying to release an XR product to not get left behind, with Meta inserting themselves as the market leader with Quest at a low price, Apple with the Vision Pro as an extreme prosumer VR headset at $3,500, and I guess Samsung and Google will put themselves in the mix between a higher end headset, as it'll utilize the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 as a step above the current chip on Quest 2 that allows for a higher resolution displays and more GPU and CPU headroom. Initially, the headset was set to compete with Quest Pro/Quest 3, but then it was pushed back as Vision Pro surprised Samsung in how technically impressive it was, and now they want to insert themselves in the spatial computing market as it's less reliant on a killer app. I doubt Samsung's attempt will break waves, as even Apple at $3,500 shows the glaring flaws with XR headsets today. These are general issues plaguing VR, as if you ever demoed the headset to someone, they're amazed, but then they just kind of move on. There are rumors it'll have micro OLED displays from Sony with a resolution of 3840 by 3552 pixels and a brightness of 1000 nits. I would predict it'll be around $1,800 to $2,500, as anything below the asking price of a Vision Pro is seen as a win. And with Samsung still charging $1,900 with their foldable line that I have and increasing the price of the Galaxy line, I doubt they go in at a low price point. And yeah, that's all the topics I wanted to go over. Down in the comment section, let me know what you think, suggest stuff for me to cover or review, and leave a like or dislike down below. Subscribe for more content. Until the next video, see ya.